Nicola Sturgeon. Now, she spends every living hour trying to convince Scotland that they should be an independent country. And there we go. She got a stark wake-up call, in my view, today, because figures from none other than the Scottish Government itself shows that people in Scotland benefit from an average of £2,000 more in public spending than the rest of the UK, with the gap surging from the previous year's £1,530 figure. That's right. So almost 2k more on public spending in Scotland, that's per year, of course, per person, than the rest of the UK. That's despite the tax being generated by people living in Scotland being just over £200 lower than the UK average per person. So basically, we're propping up the Scots. So Nicola Sturgeon might need to take a look at the finances if she feels her country should go it alone without funding from the UK government. Does this figure show now that independence is just nothing more than a bagpipe dream? Brian Monteith is a columnist at The Scotsman and a former MSP as well. He's joining me this afternoon. There he is. Brian, thank you very, very much. Yeah, interesting stuff, this north of the border. Do you think the Scots realise how skint they'll be without us?
Well, it's not quite as simple as that. It's not without us.
I know, I'm oversimplifying. Carry on.
Effectively, and this has to be understood, London is the capital of the UK. And of course, many successful Scots go and make millions in London and the southeast and the east. What we have is a regional disparity where London, the southeast and the east support the rest of the UK. But what these figures do tell us is, for a starting point, were there to be independence tomorrow, then that starting point would mean that Nicola Sturgeon would have to find over £2,000 per person per year to keep the standard of living and the public services at the same level. That clearly is unsustainable. And what it shows is the degree to which London and the donut around it carries the rest of the UK. And that is, of course, why the whole idea of levelling up has come about.
Yeah, part of me is a bit conflicted about Scottish independence. I voted for Brexit. I believe in the right to self-determination and national sovereignty as well. But at the same time, I don't want to see Scotland leave. I just think it would be a massive shame for the UK personally. And I also can't help but wonder, Brian, if they're being led out on a bit of a myth. Nicola Sturgeon can whip up a lot of ultra-nationalist support north of the border there for this kind of myth of independence and what that might look like. But when you drill down into her record as a leader there, and you look at things like the healthcare system, the education system, and actually, frankly, the Scottish economy, really, which are pretty major things, right? You could argue the spine of a country. She's not got a particularly good record on any of those things, has she?
Well, if the idea is that you throw more money at something, it will make it work better, is to be proven to destruction, then it has been proven to destruction in Scotland. Spending more money has not brought better results. The drug deaths are the worst in Europe per person. Scotland is well behind in many of the benchmarks, the measurements of social and public services. And what we can see is that the whole idea of championing the idea of independence, calling for another referendum, is in fact a distraction from Nicola Sturgeon's record. That's part of the reason why she goes on about it.
Yeah, I can't ever feel like it's a smokescreen, Brian, because as well, you know, the fact is, as far as I'm concerned anyway, I think it'll be a matter of seconds before Scotland is applying to join the European Union. Talk about direct democracy there, moving from Westminster to Brussels, which last time I checked was much further away. But